very pleased to be in front of you today to share with you, as Michael was saying it. Actually, I'm going to talk about TV because we are here to talk about TV solutions for, so telecom solutions for TV players. So it's normal that we talk about TV, but I'm going to address especially the subject which should have been addressed this morning, which was about business TV, paper jam TV, as you have probably read on the invitation. Unfortunately, the presentation could not be held. Mike says sorry. He will probably be here the next time we do it in 4 or 5 months. He will be here to show what they have done. But we thought that this topic of the niche channels, and I'm very happy that I'm just behind Most TV, because it's my presentation is more an illustration of what has been said today, and which is completely fully in line with what we see. I think the vision you showed, Max, is exactly what we currently see. So, the presentation will be short. I know it's the last presentation of the morning before the little 3-minute slots for everybody. So, I'm going to try to keep it to the point. First of all, I have to, just for those who don't know it yet, to say a few words about P&TLuxembourg. I will go very quickly through it. As you know, we are the leading, for those who didn't know it, the leading operator in telecom operator in Luxembourg. We have a turnover of about €500 million. We are the 4th employer of the country, which always, when we then really say the number, when we say we have 3,500 employees, they say, oh, and you are the 4th employer of the country? Yeah. When we talk about niche channels, we know what it means, niche channels. Because in Luxembourg, even the biggest channel is probably a niche channel for an American standard or French standard. So we really know what niche is, and it's really the reason why I wanted to talk to you about what these niche channels, which are very, very small channels, are telling to us in this context. Of course, we have all the typical services, fiber, mobile, whatever. IPTV, we have a head-end with 230 channels, which we encode for our IPTV system. And we have a satellite teleport. If you didn't know it, it's called the Lux Teleport. It's based in Clochetor. And we're, of course, happy to talk about this later on if you want. Best telecom services, we received the award 5 times in a row. It was invented 5 years ago, so that's the reason why only 5 times. And we got it 5 times consecutively. The last time was the 2nd of December. It was 10 days ago. We also received one of our subsidiaries the award of the best European data center. Well, that's all about the company. So now let's talk about TV. This chart, you've probably seen it many, many times. This chart comes from Euroconsult. It shows you the evolution of the number of TV channels, mainly here on satellite. You see from 93 to 2009. All the satellite operators which are here in the room know it by heart and know what happened in 96 when the digital packages started with France started in 96 in April, Italy was in 95 already, and it's really when the satellite operators managed to create these digital offers when for example Hotbird 1 was launched, but also Astra 1E, not to talk, and Intelsat. I've forgotten the name of the Intelsat satellite which was launched when digital was created. But it was really the time when we really saw that the number of channels, the analog going down, and number of digital channels, and later on HD was really booming. At that time, back in '94, I started my little career at SES Astra, and my first role, my first mission at that time was to do market research. And one of the issues of market research, and people from Eutelsat also know it, is to find out how many households is Astra received by, or how many people are receiving Astra, or of course the Hotbird satellites in a given country. And at that time, the only way to find it, well, one of the ways to find it was to interview people, because there was a lot of free TV at that time still, and it was to ask, do you have a dish? Yes. And if you have a dish, which channels do you receive? And so we had to keep a list of the channels which each satellite operator was transmitting. And one of my missions back 17 years ago was to keep up this list. And at the beginning, I can remember, this list had 130 channels, something like this. With the time, when this happened, I can tell you that this was impossible later on, and so we decided also to go back to the source of this chart is Linksat. You probably don't see it here. Those who are in the satellite business know what Linksat.com is, and who maybe is Christian Lindemark. You probably know him personally. Very nice guy, a very nice Swedish guy, a freak also. He has 3 dishes in his yard, in his garden, and the biggest is just a 3.8 meter dish motorized. Just to tell you, and this guy knows everything about satellite. He sleeps with it, voilà. And so this is what happened. You see now around 25,000 channels in the world on satellite, and I would say the growth is probably going to continue, because if you look on the new, this is an extract of one of their newest projections, again from Euroconsult. It shows very clearly that it's not going to stop. We are about at 25,000 channels. It is going to grow, although these are only the satellite TV channels. We should not forget, and this is the purpose of this presentation, what we have seen this morning. This is maybe the top of the iceberg. This is probably for the people who can afford to pay the distribution, of course. In Europe, if you look at Europe, you see we are here in red, and in where is Western Europe, Central Europe, voilà, and in light green. So these two bars, it is growing as well. It is of course growing as well. If you look at the number of channels, another source I quoted was a European Audiovisual Observatory, which identifies every year each single channel, and they counted 9,800 channels. So we are about, the sources are coherent to say about 10,000 channels are currently on air in Europe, and they say that 60% of them are regional or local, and of course the granularity they use, I'm not sure that they're aware of all the very niche small channels. I'm not sure that they're aware that Paper Jam TV, for example, launched on the 15th of November here. But it just shows that when you take a step back and you look what happened 15 years ago only, well, you had only big channels, only the major channels. The first satellites which were launched in Germany or in France were with 5 transponders, because at that time there were 2 main channels or 3 main channels, and they said, let's take 100% margin. And so they had 5 transponders, huh? TDF1, TDF2, 5 transponders. The German satellite, I've forgotten it. TVSat, absolutely. TVSat, 5 transponders on it, and they had a second transponder, second satellite, just in case everything was something would go wrong with the satellite. But voilà. Now this is the situation right now, and they report 300 new channels launched during 2010. I think there are much more. There are much more, but they are below the radar. And I'm going to show you a few websites where I found where the others, basically. And what allowed to do this? Well, just the technology which allowed, as we have seen it with the numbers. Now to build a channel, it costs, I would say nothing. It costs something, but it is just like this. Well, if you have a good idea, of course, and if you're sure what you want to do, but it's really something that everybody can do. Internet radio, yeah. I always liked the parallel with radio. For satellite, it was not really it was a nice to have. It was a given. I mean, radio was coming on satellite because the main thing was the TV. But when you look at websites like TuneIn, which has now 50,000 radios on their module. If you go to their website, you will also see, of course, the Luxembourgish channels, because they have sorted them by region. On our set-top box, as we speak now, the new Die Telefonepost, as we say, so the new TV by P&T, we have integrated TuneIn on the decoder. The decoder is a fully hybrid model with broadcast and, of course, internet connection, and you can access TuneIn on your decoder. So when was it? 2 weeks ago, I was in one of our main shopping centers here in Luxembourg, and I was with my microphone also making advertising for the new decoders. And when I was saying to people, you used to have 45 radios. This is what we had in the past with the old decoder. Now you have 50,000. People could not believe it. And then we were taking country like Belize or Nicaragua or whatever, and even there you could find 300 radios. It's just amazing. And the same thing is going to happen on TV now. Local and streaming TV, of course. Again, Linksat. Linksat has done many things about logos of channels, about addresses, but also a new site of him is called Linksat Stream. Go on it. You will find there 1,836, this was the stand of yesterday, linear TV channels. He lists mainly linear TV channels. If you go in the lineup, well, he presents it the same way he presents the big channels. And so you find things like Spiegel TV, which had nothing to do with TV before. Like Rhein-Main TV, a real regional one, still a big region, I would say. But also some things like this. Have a look at these ones. They are very, very small. I really encourage you to go, not maybe to look at just as these particular channels. Have a look at it. It is amazing what you can find. And as we were saying before, the trouble now is to find them. And that's why it's good that people like Christian Lingemark and others are putting them on their websites. I just took another extract from France. Same here. You see, Orange Sport. So Orange is doing, of course, channels. In France, they're on there. Vosges TV, Vosges, a region, and something which you would never have seen. La chaîne étudiante. I'm sure these guys do not have a lot of money, sure. But they have their own channels, and they appear in the same lineup as Orange Sport and Vosges. Another source which I found is the Worldwide Internet TV. There, I would say you still find probably the same names, but 2,143 streamings, and also there, it's listed by country. Yeah, this works. You see Autriche 23, Azerbaijan, etc. Brazil 71. So if you want to watch Brazilian TV, just go on there, and then you have it. They also give you the speed, whether it's recorded, whether it's live. Just amazing what you found. The best thing I found was this one, Global Internet TV, 9,417 Internet TV and VODs. Because this is really the very new thing about it. When you are a niche channel, you don't have a lot of content. Maybe you produce a few hours a day. And so you don't want to repeat and repeat and repeat. And also, once you have shown it, well, if somebody has missed it, it's gone. And that's why a lot of these small channels, and this is what we hear from the small channels, insist to have the VOD. This is how it looks like. You see here also the name of the countries. For example, France, 207 channels. Germany, 1,297 internet TV streaming channels. And you can see all of them. 123 TV, there are some Dreisat, some very, very big ones, some others, Hannover 96, so and you can really look at them. Yeah, Deutsche Telekom AG has created, you see, video portal for professional produced German language websites. It's just 3 minutes little clips which they put on also on it. On this site as well you will find a lot of streams like here, which is a linear channel, but also a lot of VODs. So what is the problem? What is the issue? What are they telling us? What is the issue? Well, they have to be attractive. As we were saying before, have a good idea, of course. They need to be, and reach the audience. There you speak about the distribution, of course. Like a big channel, they are in competition for the eyeballs of the people with the big ones, with TF1, with France 2, with ARD, with RTL. But, and believe me, I know what I'm talking about, they have the means normally of a local radio station. When how many years ago? 15 years ago also, I was a radio animator for 7 years. And I can tell you, in my little village, I know what a local radio station is and what the means it have. The means were near to zero. The presentators were not were sponsored. We had zero. We were trying to make a deal with the supermarket of the neighboring town to get one 33 tours at that time. You know, the vinyl things which we were giving out as a goodie. So that's the situation. These guys say they have a good idea. They want to be seen. They want to catch the eyeballs, but they don't have the money. So what they're concerned about, what they talk, the first thing is, of course, the cost. They say, how much will it cost me? That's the first question we hear. Or, well, first is, of course, the idea. But as soon as they have the idea is, how much is it going to cost me? The easy maintenance, of course. Normally, these people are 1, 2, or it is an organization which has done nothing so far with TV. I will show you an example that we helped in a second. The content. They produce content, but they do not have content to make 24 hours a day. Or if they do it, it's just a very dull repetition. So they want something so that their content can live longer than just that day where they were broadcasted. And then we're talking about VOD. Multiscreen. I mean, I'm not going to repeat what was said here. This is clearly the way these channels and these guys think. For them, the TV is fine, but the TV is one of the others, of the multiscreens. They want to be available on any device. Support for setup. Of course, when you are very, very small, and last week we had two guys, one from Colombia, one from Guatemala, coming to talk to us and say, we would like to do something. And we said, okay, well, but of course they're very happy when they can have support to set it up. And the first question they normally have is how to start. So what should they do first that they can do it? And so this is really the problem. I guess it's the same in all the countries. But when you are a Luxembourgish company, when you have an audience, as you know, Luxembourg has 45% foreigners, between brackets, expatriates living here. That's why the languages we have a lot. We have about maybe 300,000 people who speak Luxembourgish, but the others are much less, much lower communities. And so it's really difficult. And so what's the solution? There isn't one solution, because each channel is completely different from another. You've seen from the examples between Rhein-Main TV, Spiegel TV, and the small Hannover 96, these are different ball games, of course. But one combination, we have seen that one combination helps them a lot, and this is the following. Linear TV for the visibility. They need, even if they say, I just want to do VOD, they're very happy to have linear TV because it brings visibility and it brings, in French they say, récurrence. So you are used to go there at that time because that show you like it. For example, PPGM TV has started 1 month ago. What they do every day at 4 o'clock, they have the business interview. They have their news and a business interview. And for example, they have launched now less than a month, but I can tell you when you look at the people who go there, they are very happy to be interviewed and to do it. So you need linear TV for the visibility. Streaming for the TV, streaming on TV of course, but also for the other devices, for the ubiquity. You want to be seen at any point. You want to have an iPad in your hand and be able to watch a channel, of course, which, by the way, PPGM TV also is doing. VOD for the durability. This is when you have a very small content, you need this VOD, you need this platform.